Welcome to the Smile Co podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Hayashi, co-founder of Smile. Smile is a platform where we can encourage and inspire creators to live their dreams and do what makes them smile. We lead by example by raising our frequency and manifesting our reality. Today, my host is ANWAR Imani. Good to have you, brother.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. He is the co-founder of Smashtech with his brother, Omar. They are 16 times award-winning, 9-figure-a-year entrepreneurs who started their first business with $100. They are recognized for winning Entrepreneur Magazine's Top Company Culture, IncMagazine's Best Workplace 3 times, and many other awards by combining a great company culture with performance. So, Anwar, very, very, very grateful for having you on here, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me as well. I'm appreciative and grateful for the experience.
Yeah. So, Smile is, like I said, a platform, and we want to encourage people to live their dreams. We want to show that anyone can do anything that they actually really want with hard work, and show that, you know, very successful people like yourself were started somewhere, and kind of telling their story of how they became successful, how they became to be, and really just inspire people to live their dreams. You know, the world needs more of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I align with 100% of everything you just said.
Awesome. So, you know, your company's crushing it. You guys are doing well. I love the murdered out Lambo you pulled up in.
Thanks. Hey, I had to drive it to get me to the interview on time.
Yeah.
I was still late.
It's all good. We're always where we're supposed to be. So if you don't mind touching on like your story, man, I know a little bit about it. I'm excited for the listeners to hear more. If you want to share, like, start wherever. If you want to start with your youth, if you want to start with you and your brother maybe coming up with an idea, or, you know, when it started in San Diego, or
for sure. I think I'll start with the youth because I was just such a pivotal part of my life. My brother and I, we were raised by a single mom. Honestly, hands down, our mom is Superwoman. And we wouldn't be anywhere where we are today without her. She instilled like a lot of beliefs in us when we were kids about like overcoming adversity, or, you know, truly believing that we could be anything that we wanted to. She kind of made us in our mind feel invincible regardless of the challenges and the obstacles that we face. So first testament, shout out to my mom.
Shout out to mom.
And, when we were kids, we experienced a lot of challenges. Our mom was a single mom. She was successful in her career. And unfortunately, after she got divorced, it became a very emotional challenge for her. We ended up losing every single home that we grew up in. Every single house I ever lived in as a kid was foreclosed on. So there was a lot of financial uncertainty. My brother and I, we used to talk when we were kids about dreaming about being entrepreneurs. We always wanted to work together, and we knew that nobody would hire us on a job together being brothers. We always joke it would have been like the movie Step Brothers, where they show up dressed the same, look the same. So we knew we had to go out and create it ourselves. And, fortunately, when we were kids, our mom always told us, pursue whatever it is you're passionate about in life, regardless of if you ever get paid. It was hammered into us since we were 3 years old. And I think the combination of the mindset that our mom instilled in us and the passion that she had for a lot of supplements and wellness and natural medicine is what led to what we do now. Our mom would make these at-home concoctions, and we joked that she like invented pre-workout because my brother and I, in order to find acceptance, we would play a bunch of sports. We'd run track, basketball, football, whatever it is. And she would always give us these at-home products that she would make, whether it was like beet juice and ginseng and all these like Eastern medicines that she would combine into one. And then next thing you know, we would go out and we'd win the track meet, or we'd win the football game, or whatever it may be. And so it led to my brother and I tinkering along the side. We joke that we've been entrepreneurs our entire life, unsuccessfully, but successfully since about 2008. We stuck with our passion for health and wellness infused from our mother. And we began to successfully create our own products probably around 2008, where it was all about paying homage to wellness, but also weight loss. We had seen our mom gain about 200 pounds after I was born. You know, she was dealing with her own emotional challenges. She was trying to take care of everybody in the world. And, you know, she didn't have the greatest opportunity to take care of herself kind of along the way. So we ended up creating products. And while Smashtech is our parent company and what we're known for here in the city of San Diego, it is like the behind the scenes company that has created a lot of awesome and amazing customer facing brands like Skinny Fit, which can be found on skinnyfit.com. It's a brand entirely towards women over the age of 30 to help them find wellness and weight loss again. And it pays homage to our mother. Long story short.
I love that. That's amazing. So do you want to touch a little bit on the difficulties you had when you came here, where you guys were at when you started, like what you and your brother?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would say that, you know, difficulties are something that's not necessarily unfamiliar, even as you scale and, you know, everybody perceives you to be massively successful and stuff like that. Like, a lot of times it comes with a lot of challenges. I'm grateful for not being in the position that I was when I first came to San Diego. I moved out here with $400 to my name, and I slept in my car waiting for school to start in the fall. And obviously that was incredibly challenging. And, you know, I think it's a testament to a lot of the mindset that our mom instilled in us to be able to overcome everything. So I came to San Diego in about 2007, I want to say. And my brother joined in 2012. So the crazy thing is, though, long before that, even when we were kids, we grew up in a 2-bedroom house. So our grandparents got one room. And then our oldest brother, who has special needs, he's multi-handicapped. He's blind. He can't walk. He can't talk. He got the other room because it was obviously wheelchair accessible. And then my brother and I, we got this spare closet. So it fit like a twin size mattress that touched on all walls. And when we were kids, Kevin, you always talk about the power of manifestation. We used to talk about how one day we would both live in California together and we'd be driving down the Pacific Coast Highway. And at the time, the dream was 2 Ferrari 488 Spiders. We used to glamorize things that like every kid does, sports cars, lifestyle, whatever it may be. We always said that we would achieve that one day. And I didn't even know what the Pacific Coast Highway was. And fast forward to, you know, later on in life, I live on the Pacific Coast Highway. My brother and I, at one point in time, I think it was 2017, we had the only 2 black 488 Ferrari Spiders in the nation at the time. So it really is the power of manifestation combined with a lot of work.
You saw that and made it happen.
And we genuinely believed it.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's off camera. I was sharing a little bit of Dr. Joe Dispenza, which I've studied, and I'm extremely grateful to have came across. And part of the formula is you have to be worthy to receive. You can't, you know, you can't be trying to manifest and then doubt yourself. You got to believe in what you're doing. And then I'm sure the listeners and everyone, sometimes you knew this was going to happen, and sometimes it may have been a negative thing. And then whether you know it or not, you manifested something because you just felt like you knew it was going to happen. But yeah, it's the power of the mind. And that's an incredible thing. And I hope the listeners really take that to heart, that you guys believed in yourselves and, and you knew it was going to happen and you made that happen. That's incredible, man. So what was the first big break you guys had with Smashtech?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I would say the first big break that we happened to have, this was before Smashtech. It came in about 2008 when, you know, my brother was leading the entrepreneurial journey. He had really started selling a lot of products on eBay at the time. And then that's when we really started to gain like a lot of traction. And from the early moments of learning how to, I think the ultimate goal has always been the same. And when I look back to the early days, it's always been about creating an incredible product providing a phenomenal customer experience and, you know, also aligning with something that you could be the best in the world at. And for us, that happened to eventually become marketing. And I think even in the early days, we always wanted to do those three things. And so I think probably around those early years is when we had that initial premise, and then it didn't really come to fruition until Smashtech came along in about 2015, where it was just like, okay, now we know that this is with certainty the three elements that we want to kind of have as a recipe to our success.
I think that's the best recipe you can have. I mean, if you have the product that speaks for itself,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can market it all and provide an experience for the customer, then, you know, because everything's marketing. You got to have the best product and you can have a really good experience, but if nobody knows about it,
Yes,
nobody's going to go there. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, you think back in school, they always talked about this triangle where it was like, oh, you know, you could either have a great product or you could have like great service or you could have great prices. It's like choose two out of the three. And it's like, well, why can't you have three out of the three?
That makes no sense.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's, I had Dean Lister on another interview, and we were talking about the formula of fighting. And it's funny too, because he's like a world champion jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
And then I was asking him about striking, and they usually say it's, you know, it's wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and then Muay Thai.
Mm-hmm.
And also I've heard, you know, he was explaining what I've heard everyone say, like, you know, you need to be good at two of those. It's like, you know, then the real good guys are good at all three of them.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give from everything that you've learned and everything that you've gone through?
Yeah.
Just anybody out there that's like, you know, maybe trying to find their dream or that has grasped it, and that, what would you tell them to focus on?
Man, I mean, I think the most important thing is usually the intangibles. You have to be willing to be persistent, and, you know, you have to have this unwavering belief that you will figure it out. You know, I talk about this kind of quite a bit, where you have to be emotionally tied to the process and not necessarily emotionally tied to the outcome. The outcome will eventually happen. And so it's no different than if you're trying to get in incredible shape. Like, well, if you're emotionally tied to the process of the discipline of waking up, finding exercises that you love, following through with those movements with all out effort, you know, finding ways to eat healthy that you truly enjoy, like, you will naturally achieve the outcome that you're looking for. And I think the same principle kind of like applies to business, where a lot of times when people are starting out, you know, it's really hard to be successful at something that you're not incredibly passionate about. You know, I talk about this with my mental coach all the time, where it's all about, you know, finding ways to do things in a way that you love. I happen to love health and wellness products, you know, and, you know, coming up with like nutrition products with my brother. And we were always, as kids, we were always asking questions. You know, we'd come out of football practice and it'd be like, God, like, why is coach giving us one of those Gatorade size 5-gallon containers and it's full of like Coca-Cola or something that's like sweet and sugary and kind of like upsets your stomach? You know, when it was the early 90s, it was like, why does protein powder come in 3 flavors, like chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla, and it all tastes like cardboard? You know, like, we found ourselves questioning everything. And that was what we truly loved. And we would always tinker at home with different ideas to kind of improve the status quo of those things. And then naturally, because of that, I think it aligned with being able to create something of success later on. And the reason why I say that's incredibly important is because, honestly, it doesn't matter the level of success that you get to. It's always like climbing Everest, where the higher you get, the thinner the oxygen. You know, the top of Everest is called the death zone for a reason. And it doesn't matter who you are. If you are Tom Brady and the Patriots, or if you are Troy Aikman in the Cowboys, you will have dark years.
Yeah.
You know, you will have dark, extensive periods of time where, you know, what goes up must come down. And I think that the passion that you have and the ability to have this unwavering belief will lead to the solutions and the resolve to be able to figure it out and get back to being a championship winning person or a championship winning organization.
Yeah. And I see with the awards you guys are winning that you guys must be great leaders, you know, and that's what it takes. Like when Tom Brady was down at halftime by, what was it, 24, the biggest gap. And I looked at my friends and said, this isn't over yet.
Yeah.
You know, because everyone in that locker room could go in there and they believe in Tom Brady.
Yeah.
They believe in their leader, and you know he believes in himself. This is not over yet. And if your leader leads, you know, then you're worthy to receive because you can believe.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I hats off to you, man, for what you guys are doing and what you guys have done. And
hey, thank you.
I hear great things for people that work for you. And
thank you.
And yeah, that is pretty honorable, I would say, man. You spoke of your mental coach. Do you mind sharing what kind of mental coach do you have?
Yeah. You know, honestly, it was kind of I honestly didn't expect it to lead to the success that I've had from it personally. Her name is Missy McIntyre, and you know, I think the greatest thing about her is that not only have I learned so much about myself through that process, but, you know, it kind of goes back to like our success can never exceed our ability to work on ourselves. I stumbled across her on, you know, YouTube, and I was introduced to her by a mutual friend, Joey Wilder, who is also a mental coach of mine. And it was phenomenal. I mean, just our first conversation that she had and the things that she was able to articulate about myself and about my childhood, about trauma that I had experienced. It was like I had spoken to somebody for 35 years. And, you know, I think that those experiences that we go through in life, they can create glass ceilings to our success. And so it came a point where I also think that it is an incredible fallacy to believe that you could do everything alone and that you can succeed on your own. The greatest people in the world, whether it is Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or Tom Brady, they all have a coach.
Yeah.
You know, so you cannot tell me that you have the audacity to believe that you could be a championship individual and think that you could do it on your own. And I think that the power of the different coaches that I've worked with have helped me unlock greater levels of success simply by, number one, recognizing the humility that it takes to require help. Number two, like overcoming childhood trauma, or, you know, maybe things that I've carried unknowingly for 35 years of my life that you can have a tendency to project onto other people, whether it is friendships, business relationships, partnerships, whatever it may be. I think learning how to healthily communicate, how to put yourself in other people's shoes, how to be empathetic with others, like all those things come from your ability to work on yourself. And I think if you're able to do those things, then you're naturally able to be a pretty decent, or hopefully a great leader.
Yeah, I resonate with so many different things that you said. One, I like, and for the listeners out there that aren't familiar with sports or haven't been on a team, I personally and ANWAR were relating to sports because it's you know, life is almost like a sport. You know, you have a goal, you have
Absolutely.
teammates, and especially in the workplace. So it's, you know, whether you know it or not, if you worked somewhere, you were on a team. It's, you know, you may not have been physically throwing a football, but you're actually practicing fundamentals to go through game time to learn something. And what I learned, which I to this day utilize very much, is reflecting on yourself, because you know, you learn the fundamentals of no matter what it is. and you practice, then you practice to try to learn those. And then game time comes, and that might be you and your girlfriend having a relationship. It might be having a talk. Oh, we're out now.
Yes.
This is dinner time, or we're at the club or whatever it is, it's game time. And then,
Of course.
and then something, maybe a disagreement, and then you go home and you reflect. It's like, hey, well, I really enjoyed how this happened, or I didn't enjoy this. And, you having film of an athlete or a sport, like even when I watch myself on this, I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to be able to have a different angle. And that's what a coach does. But having a coach puts you in the best position to be successful. And people could be like, why does Kobe need a coach? Because, Phil Jackson could see things that he can't. You can only do so much with what we're doing. And it's such an important thing to have a team. And it's really cool that you had your brother.
Absolutely.
Someone that loves you unconditionally and has your back. And it's really, really cool. Like, one of my dreams is to build an empire with the people I love.
Yeah.
And I was with Omar late night having a good time at your office. And the first time I realized, I've known Omar for a minute and had no idea until I was at the office.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's like, I was selling on eBay 2 years ago. I was like, wow, man. And I was like, well, it's incredible. Like, building an empire with the people you love is an amazing thing.
No, absolutely. I think it's been that has carried me through like a lot of dark days, growing a business to a really high level of scale, like none of that comes easy. There is not just like, oh, okay, cool, you've made it, you're good now. It's no different than going to the gym. You can't just go to the gym once and then expect to be in great shape. You got to keep it up. And then if you want to operate it and perform at the highest level, being a professional athlete, your ass better be in the gym more than once.
Yeah.
And so I remember through a lot of periods of growing our business, especially, the first time we took it above like 100 employees and things began to get like really challenging. Omar, it was my brother that was the one that was like, well, at least we have each other. There was always like the silver lining in the cloud to always be able to look at, where it's like, yeah, you're right. Regardless of whatever challenges or obstacles or whatever you may face, there is some type of perspective that can give you significant gratitude and appreciation for the circumstances that you're in. And I mean, that's how I've always looked at it ever since, where it's like, I'm blessed to even be in this position, that's why I truly feel like it's more so me, like I'm serving others, and the people that work at the organization of Smashtech, like they don't work for me. It's, I try to figure out like, hey, how can I help you? Or, how can I alleviate stress off of your plate, or whatever it is that I could do. Like,
that's a great way of looking at it. And, it's a lot of business owners don't look at it like that. It's, I love the team mentality.
Yeah.
Because if we have a similar goal, it's like, how do we do this together?
Yes.
Because if it relieves you, then I want you to be happier every day.
Absolutely.
And having the mentality to sincerely want the best for other people, exponential growth comes from that.
Yeah. I don't want anybody feeling burned out or demoralized or not feeling like they're loving what they do and who they do it with. I think that's one of the biggest premises that my brother and I built our organization around, was loving what we do and who we do it with. Obviously, like, stemming from our childhood passion, and then just also the enjoyment of working together was huge. And then, creating an organization where it was something that we wanted to be a part of, because like, I mean, my brother and I, we've had a lot of terrible jobs that we hated over the course of our entire life. And, the times where it's like, I remember one time I asked for like a $1.50 raise, and I think I was denied. And I was like, well, damn, that kind of sucks. You know, like I just wanted to make $1.50 more. And then I was like, you know what, if I ever get the opportunity to have some type of organization where I could have been like young and be a part of something cool and truly enjoy what I'm, doing and learning along the way, and recognizing that at the end of the day, we're all getting paid to learn, you know?
Right.
A lot of the stuff that you face in business is real world experience, and it's more valuable than a Harvard education.
Right. Where, I ask everyone this that comes on, where do you see yourself, or maybe Smashtech, or you and Omar, in a few years from now?
Man, that is a really good question. I think that the greatest thing about your journey in life or your growth in life, whether it is personal or professional, is to have absolute certainty, is to not achieve certain things by accident, but to know yourself at a deeper level. Like, I think with myself, I'm loving the personal growth journey that I'm on, and I kind of mirror that to Smashtech, where it's like, you know, like, let's truly get that much better at what we do and also be certain about it. I think that comes from like testing, from iterating, from trying new things, trying new products. We're getting ready to launch a series of several new products with our brand, skinnyfit.com. And I have great feelings about them. But as I grow in my entrepreneurial career, I want to be more certain, you know. I think that's really the biggest thing. I think as an entrepreneur is like, you see people that have executed at the highest level for the longest periods of time, and they have a certain level of certainty where there's less, I would say, less mistakes along the way, less failure along the way. I mean, it's inherently a part of everything, but I think I just want to get better overall.
Yeah. If you're trusting the process, trusting yourself,
Yeah.
then that's ultimately to where trusting the universe or having faith in whatever happens is going to lead its way to where you're supposed to be, because you're inherently doing the things that you should be.
Yeah. You know, it goes back to a principle that, like, you know, when you're usually starting out, you have to say yes to a lot of things because you're looking for that glimmering moment of opportunity to be able to take advantage of it. And then as you become significantly more experienced and you've already achieved the highest level of success, you have to say no to everything, you know, because you are so much more certain in what it is that you should be doing. And you realize that saying yes to a lot of things actually comes with a lot of distraction. Right.
It's a very interesting and amazing comment right there. I like that. And it's very true. You know, you go from this, figure it out, to kind of, to kind of go in there. Well, that's amazing, man. Is there anything else before I let you go that you want to share about your company, what you guys are doing, anything coming up, anything you'd like the listeners to know about?
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, you know, I'm obviously just grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be a part of the local San Diego community. I take pride in this city. It's a city of incredible convenience that has allowed me to be able to flourish and succeed to the level that I have. You know, I think with Smashtech, we have a lot of exciting things in the works, especially with like new products that we're coming out with for some of our health and wellness brands that we've created, that we're also excited about. And I'm happy that the world is a lot more normalized where, you know, maybe we could do more events or in-person pop-ups and stuff like that are a little bit more cool and fun to enhance the great culture that we already have. So I'm looking forward to a lot of exciting things in the next year.
Well, anything we can do to support, like I said earlier, so Smile, we do have cannabis edibles, which are vegan. We have more non-GMO products than I think most anyone else. You know, like, we're very conscious about what we give people too. We don't have the black mold citric acid. We use the non-GMO.
I love your product, by the way. It's phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we're very proud of it. We've been working on it for 3 years, and we just launched 6 months ago, and we did win the Farmers Cup here, which was 400 judges.
Wow.
From May 20, from 420 to 520. I want to say it was 1,700 brands, and We won first place overall best edible, and then first place best flavor.
Congratulations.
So thank you. We're very proud of that. And, you know, like I said in the beginning, we want Smile to be a platform for encouraging and inspiring people, just like my partner Brendan started as a bartender. Now he owns 11, about to be 12 restaurants. And Whitney, you know, used that to travel the world playing pro baseball. And my buddy Jay is, you know, worked with some amazing companies, and now he's the commercial director for Diddy. And, you know, life is kind of what we make of it. And we want people to be confident and love and be grateful for all the things, because it's such a beautiful thing, you know, like there's so many two sides to everything. Everything can be ugly or it can be beautiful. Yeah. You know, and every once in a while ugly comes, but we have the choice to put our mind on the beautiful.
Absolutely.
You know? And our energy and I want personal growth to be a big part of our message.
Yes.
And I love the journey that you're going down, and I'm excited to share and learn, you know, some of the things and the people that I follow that are amazing, and learn what you learn on the way too.
Cool.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. We'll be plugging his website and Instagram and information, and the other companies that he's associated with. And thank you. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And don't forget to smile.